Monday. It is kind of windy outside right now, but it's sunny and it's beautiful, and I am super excited to just get a really good start to this new week. I've been away for a little bit now, and I had to kind of just deal with a medical emergency and some family stuff, and so it's been a little bit of a stressful few past weeks, but I am really excited just to be back and getting back into the groove of things. I feel like my life has been in a perpetual state of falling off track and then getting my life back together, so today it's going to be the latter, and we're just going to be focusing on some stuff together that really helps me feel kind of re-grounded in getting stuff done. So I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite productivity tips, some tools that I use, and also just kind of sharing a little grad school updates. I'm officially almost done with my second semester, and originally thought I was going to graduate early and be done this semester, but with everything that's gone on in the past year, I've definitely had to postpone some things. And because I still have work and new family obligations, I really just had to put grad school on the back burner. And truthfully, it's actually been on the back burner for a while now. I have not gotten as much work done as I would like to. I have 2 essays that I need to wrap up by, I think, Wednesday night, and then I will be kind of back on track, and I'm just going to use this beginning of the week as a time to really just rest and reset. So that's kind of what's on the agenda for today. I woke up this morning, I took the dogs on a walk, which they finally met each other, by the way, Milo and Atlas, and we're also calling Atlas Ollie. We're not really sure what we're going to name him permanently, but the more and more we kept calling him Atlas, we weren't sure if it totally fit him, so we are kind of dabbling with that name too. But they finally met each other. We took them on a really long walk to just like slowly introduce them to each other, and it honestly went really, really well. I was kind of surprised that Milo took to him so quickly, since sometimes he's a little bit nervous around new dogs, but they are getting along super well, and we went for a walk this morning. I made some breakfast, my coffee, I did a little bit of reading, and I just really tried to focus on doing some things that I knew would put me in a productive mindset. I think I'm just going to sprinkle in some productivity tips throughout today's video, and I guess that's definitely going to be number 1. So my first tip is definitely going to be to start your day by doing things that inspire you to be productive. And I think this is something that's going to be totally subjective based off of what you like to do and what really helps you in your own personal life. But for me, I know the days that I wake up and I immediately reach for my phone, I scroll, I maybe skip breakfast because I don't have time, and I really just feel really rushed in the morning. On those mornings, I always end up getting less done throughout the day, and I feel like the quality of my work kind of suffers as well. So really what I try to do is wake up early enough to where I can fit in some things that kind of fill up my cup and inspire me to have a productive day. So usually that means waking up around 5 to 6 a.m. and that's kind of the sweet spot for me. And then realistically spending about an hour to 2 hours just focusing on things that make me feel good. So getting movement in, like walking the dogs, is definitely a big one too. There's just something about moving your body that really sets the tone for the day. So that is another big thing for me. And then of course eating breakfast, that is obviously a really important one for your brain function. And I think that especially when you're doing something like writing a lot, so because my current project is, I think it's like a 12 to 14 page paper, because I know that that's what I have to do today, I really needed to eat foods that make my brain feel good as much as it makes my body feel good. So that is my first little productivity tip. I think I'm just going to jump straight into getting a little bit of work done right off the bat. I find that whenever I do the hardest thing first thing in the morning, I tend to be able to get it out of the way a little bit faster, just like saving my brain power for the most difficult thing of the day. And since I feel like I have the most brain power in the morning, I feel like that's typically what I like to do, is just eat the frog and do the hardest thing first. In that book I was reading this morning, it's called Your Brain at Work, and I am getting really into learning how to optimize my brain function to get the most done through really being intentional with my time and making sure that I am really focusing on what needs to get done versus what I'm thinking about needs to get done. They explain it way better in the book, but essentially there are so many things that can cross your mind throughout the day that your brain has trouble focusing on all of them at the same time. So the analogy they use in the book is you are a stage manager and you're kind of controlling kind of what comes on the stage and who stays off the stage. So for example, if I have an idea in the morning and I'm trying to remember it and really kind of focusing on making sure I remember that idea, it's using brain power. So that is one person on the stage. And then I go into work and then I have to worry about emails and scheduling meetings. And those are 2 more people that go onto the stage while I'm still trying to remember that idea I had earlier. And the point they were making is that when you do something like that and you're putting more and more things and people onto your stage, you're really not giving yourself the ability to focus on any one thing at one time. And so as I was reading that and I was thinking about how I do that in my own life, I am somebody who typically thinks about the future in the present moment all the time. So like today, I have to go help my grandparents at like 4-ish o'clock. And so that's been on the back of my mind all morning where I'm just thinking about, okay, I have this coming up later today. I don't want to forget about it. I don't want to forget anything I have to bring. It's just kind of been on my mind. And that also really happens to me a lot whenever it comes to appointments. If I have an appointment later in the day, sometimes I wake up and that's all I can think about. So I'm not really able to get that much done throughout the day. I know that you guys have expressed that you feel the same way in that. And I think my solution based off of what I'm learning in this book is number one, really focus on the hardest thing first. Like I was saying, I think that eating the frog and just getting that out of the way has been really helpful for me to free up the rest of my day and also my brain space. And then number two, there is a really good lesson here about prioritizing what you need to get done. And so instead of filling your stage with all these people and things and tasks and to-do lists, you really need to focus on looking at that stage and pulling out the 3 things that you absolutely need to get done today. And then almost telling yourself that the other things do not matter until those 3 things are done. I found that that's been a really efficient way for me to free up that brain power. So I'm able to complete those 3 things. I can do them better. I can do them faster. And I also don't feel like I'm stressed out as much because I'm not worrying about what's to come. I'm really just focusing on what's right in front of me. So with that said, I think I am going to jump straight into the hardest thing I need to get done today, which is definitely going to be that paper. If you're watching this right now and there's something that's been on your mind, go ahead and write it down and then really create a priority list based off of everything you need to get done. And then start with 3 things. I think that that is the best way for you to devote your attention to what really matters without taking up brain power worrying about things that you don't have to worry about yet. But okay, let's get started. I just hit my first break. It's been about an hour and a half and he's been here with me the whole time. That little man too, he's been sleeping next to all his toys and I think that they're ready for a little outside time break. One of my favorite things to do after taking some time to get some work done is go outside and just get some fresh air. I feel like it's just one of the best ways to get a little bit re-inspired and really just give yourself some time to step away from whatever it is that you were doing. I think that especially with stuff that's pretty monotonous like writing, it's really important that you get outside, go for a walk, or just take some time to kind of refresh your mind. Also, it's a really good idea for you to take a second away from the computer, give your eyes a chance to look at something else. So if you have greenery nearby, that's always my go-to. Really just resting and resetting your mind and your body so that you can come back and really just kind of look at things from a different perspective. Honestly, I find that whenever I'm stuck with my words or if I just can't figure out a concept, one of the best things I can do for myself is just get out of the space I'm in and kind of switch things up a little bit. So sometimes that looks like going outside and taking my laptop and maybe doing work on the patio. Other times it means entirely switching up my environment to the point where maybe I go to the library or a coffee shop. Sometimes all you need is a good change in your environment, and that's going to be another one of my little productivity tips today. Really just making sure that whenever you find yourself in a position where maybe you are feeling a little bit stumped or like your brain isn't working right, I really want you just to get out of the environment you're in, even if it's in a really small way, like just taking your computer to another room in your home or apartment or whatever. That's honestly one of the best ways for me to just get a better perspective on things. So we are going to head outside, get some fresh air, and then maybe I'll make myself a little drink or something later so I can kind of continue the study session feeling a little bit more motivated. Today's drink is going to be Passion Dragon. It's from the brand Just Made. It's got all the stuff in it and then it should help me do a little bit better with focusing today. So this will be my little fun drink of the afternoon to keep me going. I debated pouring it in a cute little glass just to add to the whole experience, but I think I'm just going to leave it in the bottle for now. I feel like if you ever need a little boost throughout a study session or work session, a fun drink is always the way to go, or even just like a little snack on the side. I think it's just a good way to help you stay focused and on track. The dogs are happy to be back inside after the little outing, and it is officially time for me to start the second work session of the day. Okay guys, it is officially the next day and I have moved into the kitchen to try to get some more work done here. Another really good tip if you're just struggling to get into the work mindset again is to just simply move yourself around. I've been kind of rotating between sitting here and then my desk, and then I'll even go to like the couch in my bedroom if I really feel like I need a change of environment. I have just been working on financial management and then also accounting for decision makers. Those are the two courses that I'm trying to wrap up before the end of this term. So I've just got papers on papers of all sorts of stuff just to try to understand it. But anyways, I've been working on that pretty much all morning, and now I'm thinking I'm finally going to settle down into taking a little break here. The courses honestly haven't been that bad. It's just a lot of information that I'm just not familiar with yet. I honestly don't think I've ever taken an accounting course before. I didn't have to do it in my bachelor's degree, but the only reason I have to do it in my master's is because it's like overall business. And so there's just a lot of stuff that I feel like I've never had to really work through. Like, I get the general concept, but like the specific formulas and stuff, I need to just focus in on for a second. So I've been doing that for a little bit, and now I'm gonna start taking what I've been calling my learning breaks. Now, taking a learning break is something that I have kind of just invented for myself as of late. I feel like what would happen is I would get so stuck on the current topics I was learning about, like usually school related. So I think I was doing like ethical leadership, and I was just so ingrained in that one topic that learning started to become exhausting and it didn't really feel fun anymore. And I've always kind of been someone who really enjoys learning, so I wanted to find a way to make it more interesting for myself again. And so I started implementing these things called learning breaks, and it's basically where I take a break from whatever current content I'm working on. And lately I've just been taking breaks and kind of just switching what content I'm focusing on. So usually I'll switch to something a little bit more fun or interesting, just stuff that like I'm excited to learn about and not necessarily have to learn about. And the main way I've been finding new and interesting material has been through using Skillshare. And they are very kindly sponsoring today's video, so I have to tell you guys all about them if you haven't already heard about it. It's essentially this learning platform you can join, and they have information on seriously everything and anything. I've learned so much on there lately, whether it be from like more creative pursuits to more productivity ones. And so it's really cool because you can actually explore such a range of topics, and that's kind of what I was really looking for. Lately, I've been trying to get back into bullet journaling. I took a break for a little while, and so as I've been stepping back into it, I did find a course online that I have been loving. If you're new to bullet journaling or you're just looking for a little extra inspiration on things to do and how to get started, this course was really, really helpful for me. And then of course you can always filter it by your interests. So I kind of went through a little survey at the beginning, and I basically just selected things that I like. And it was really cool because then it gives you other options of classes you can take to learn about things that you're interested in. And honestly, Skillshare has really helped me fall back in love with learning. I feel like just because there are so many topics you can explore, there is something for everyone. And for me, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, okay, I want to learn to draw today. There's a course for that. Or if I wake up and I'm like, you know what, I need some inspiration, I need some productivity advice, then there's also offerings for that. But yeah, definitely check out Skillshare. I'll put a link to it in the description. The first 500 people who click it will get a 1-month free trial, and then you can see everything they offer yourself. So definitely click that link and find something new to learn today. Okay, let's get back to it. I've been burning this candle ever since I started working at I think like 7 o'clock this morning, and it is currently 1:35. And sometimes I'll use a candle as a measurement of when it's time for me to take a break. So whenever it gets to the point where the whole top is melted over, I take that as my sign to take a step back. So that is typically when I'll do one of my learning breaks, or I will come in here and I've got my yoga mat already stretched out, and I've really just been enjoying doing a little bit of yoga in between some of my study sessions. But I think that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope it just gave you some inspiration if you've been waiting to get some studying of your own done. Hopefully this is the motivation you need to go and get started. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe if you're new. I post new videos every Friday and Sunday, so you guys can tune back in then for some new content. If you're looking to learn a little something new, definitely don't forget to go ahead and check out Skillshare in the link in my description. And I will talk to you guys all in the next video. Bye guys.